That's unfortunate.
Wow. Now Jake will never come back again.
Sad. So anyway, yes, this is factual. So yeah, anything that isn't an EXE wasn't picked up by this. Cool. Any questions? Pretty Run it one more time?
Yeah.
Run the whole pop one more time. Run it back.
Oh God. Yes.
Whoa.
Wow. Incredible.
Incredible.
Cool.
Show us the fancy stuff now.
Damn.
Yes. Cool. All right. So, how can we make this better? Because those are kind of boring rules. They don't do anything really. So, why don't we pick a malware sample? Netcat looks like a very interesting one. Don't you all agree?
No.
Don't you all agree?
Guys,
Yes, Netcat.
what is Netcat? I guess. What's Netcat, Jake?
Netcat is the biggest malware of all time.
So wait, we're trying to identify Netcat, that's the goal?
Yes, exactly. The goal is to
Find it on a whole system or something?
exactly. The goal is to make a rule where we can identify Netcat, right? Because sometimes attackers like to use it, and that's bad.
But it's right there, bro. I already found it.
Talk over. Talk over.
I'm done, I'm sorry.
All right, so how do we identify things that could be useful for us? Well, there's this awesome command called, oh, that's not strings, haha, just kidding. So if we actually run netcat, right, we can see there's some fancy strings such as, oh, a domain. That could be useful.
It could be.
That URL could be kind of useful for writing a string. And yeah, so oftentimes help banners like this will be they're kind of controversial because sometimes it's pretty easy to take those out, but they can be like a really easy way to make like a quick rule. So yeah, if you open it in Notepad like I did, you can see strings and other random bytes.
Whoa.
Cool. And also, I just took a look through. This is HXD, an awesome hex editor. Cool. And I found this interesting thing. Yeah, these awesome bytes that seem fairly unique. Yeah, so identifying those can be a bit of a pain, but yeah. So essentially, you could kind of see, right, 66C1E8, 66C, yeah, cool, awesome. And so we can make a rule out of those, right? So this is our fully flushed out, awesome, super complex Yara rule, right? So we have metadata tags, and the hash. Check it out, category, hack tool, because Netcat is the ultimate hacker tool. Every hacker uses it. And these are the strings and information that we want to be searching for, right? Ooh, this is where things get really fancy. Ooh, so in parentheses, right? You can have, yeah, exactly. You can have an or, right? So maybe the original thing is 3C, right? But which is the opcode for compare AL. But maybe I want it to also search for those same opcodes, but with 3D, which is compare EAX, which will sometimes do the same thing depending on,
What's the wide keyword in string 2?
What is the wide keyword? I'm so glad you asked. So that is another one of those cool modifiers, right? That searches for wide Unicode characters instead of just ASCII. Yes. So if you do wide ASCII, you search for both ASCII and Unicode characters. Mind-blowing. It's crazy. Because some of those pesky strings might be Unicode, but some of them could be ASCII. Because programming Windows stuff is fun, and you have to deal with that all the time. Cool. And so, yeah, The condition for this one is kind of interesting, right? So as you can see, it's S underscore star, which is like our wild card, right? So it's anything that starts with S underscore, so S1 and S2, and H underscore. So that's all of our hex ones. And you can make, yeah?
I have a legitimate question. Is that like a naming convention that you're doing there with the S underscore?
Yeah,
and the H
exactly.
underscore?
Yeah, so you can, I was just going to say that actually. You can make these rules named whatever you want, but generally, from what I've seen just looking at Yara rules, most people have like a standard naming convention that's like blank underscore and then number, right? So S underscore 1 or like string 1, string 2, stuff like that. And that makes using wildcards like this a lot easier. So you can just do S underscore star. And this can, yeah, so this is essentially the same thing as all of these rules, right? And if you were lazy, you could just literally make your condition all of them. And that's what I was going to do, but then I was like, I should show off the wildcard thing first, because that's kind of cool.
That's cool. Wait, is there another demo?
Yeah, it's the last demo. Get ready.
No.
If you want, I could do the. Right. So this is our rule. Pretty epic.
Beta.
Right. So what happens when we run this rule? I wonder. Let's see. Oh, I found the netcat hack tool. Oh no! Whatever will I do?
Jake has ended all hacks.
Quick! I need to uninstall it. Uninstalled, threat removed. We are safe.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Saying you're recycling bin or anything.
We don't talk about that.
No, it's uninstalled. No threat.
Jake,
All right.
you just took away my job. What the heck?
Sad. All right. So this is a bit wall of text-like, but I'll simplify it. These are some awesome rules about writing your awesome rules, right? So the main thing that we want to focus on is keeping the false positive rate low, but something that's kind of overlooked and really shouldn't be is keeping the false negative rate low, right? So what does that mean? Well, we don't want every single thing to trigger this rule because we're only looking for netcat. We don't want curl to trigger this rule because curl isn't netcat. But we also don't want false negatives, right? So we don't want netcat to not show up as netcat because netcat is netcat.
I'm renaming it, bro. It's
No, you can't rename it. So yeah, writing rules is like a really big balance between vague and specific, and your goal is to get in the middle so that it's not too vague and it's not too specific. It can be difficult though. Yeah, go for it.
I might have missed it at the beginning, but like, how do you install this? Like, this is like,
It's just an exe. It's here.
so like during a competition or something, you could just, you know,
Took my question.
John, he's
Dude,
scared.
I was gonna ask
Yeah.
pull it up and just find all my malware.
We'll get to that a tiny bit. We'll get to yeah. Cool. So
detected.
all right. So yeah, Yara's powerful. I don't know what else did I write here. This is interesting. I didn't. Oh yeah. So modifiers are really cool because you can like spot detection evasion and obfuscation with like, you know, capitalization stuff, funky stuff like that. They use that a lot in like PowerShell tools and whatever. And yeah, you can use these modifiers to detect that without like considering every single rule because that would be really annoying and a mile long. So we don't want that. However, just be aware, these will definitely affect the processing power that you need, right? Because for every single time you do, you know, like no case, you're like, you have to basically search for the capital and lowercase version. So for every single character, every single rule, it's, yeah. So just be kind of, don't go out and just do every single modifier just for the purpose of having them, because that's really unnecessary. So yeah. And also the thing that's pretty cool is you could do, you could import modules, and there's the PE module is super useful, and it has a bunch of interesting like things that you could do. So one cool one is the PE dot import hash, right? So you could use that to really quickly find the import hash of the PE file. So it's cool. There's also like .NET and hash and whatever, and you could write your own modules, but that's a lot more difficult than writing rules. So I'm just going to stick to writing rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think this is probably the last part. So how do we use these rules from a blue teamer's perspective, right? So this side is a bit more self-explanatory. You could use it for detection and classification, as we've seen, right? So we detected, and well, I guess we didn't really classify, but whatever. We detected netcat. Cool. You could also use these to discover new samples via VirusTotal Enterprise, which is super cool. I think I have a screenshot of that, so that's fun. Yeah, you could find these rules all over the place. Sometimes developers will release their own rules for their red team tools. I know the Mimikatz repository has Yara rules to find Mimikatz. Wow, isn't that cool? Isn't that exciting? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, Volatility has Yara support, and if you want to add Yara support to your own tool, it has a, I think, pretty easy to use Python library. So like, you know, if you're writing your own tool in Python for blue teaming and you want to import Yara, you could really turn that project into something cool, maybe, right? So yeah, this is VirusTotal Enterprise. It's really cool, and you can use Yara rules to live hunt. So what that means is anything that gets uploaded to VirusTotal, you can search for, right? So you can search through any VirusTotal upload for certain malware, which is pretty interesting. And if you have an enterprise account, you can download files from VirusTotal and look at them. It's fun and interesting and wild. What?
Cool,
and cool. It's very cool.
Okay,
So yeah. As a red teamer, though, how do you use Yara as a red teamer? Well, that's maybe not as clear, and it's probably a little easier to use it as a blue teamer. But don't worry, all you red teamers, you can use it too. So one thing that is really interesting, and I don't know if this has ever really been used in the wild for good reason, but like, if you want to, you can. You can search for files using Yara that have credentials in them, right? So you might want to search for certain keywords like confidential, top secret, do not disclose, stuff like that, using your Yara rules, and you can come across some business secrets uploaded to VirusTotal. That happens way more often than you would think. Be careful with what you upload to VirusTotal, please. Yeah. Business secrets happens. Yes. It's so cool. And yeah, red teamers can also use it to scan their own files, right? So if you know that your tool has something that will trigger that will trigger like static analysis tools, you can download a bunch of rules or run it and see what bytes are triggering, right? So for example, you know, one of the rules that is uploaded to the Mimikatz repository searches for that string, right? So system32 LSASS. What if you just move what if you just split that string in half, right? And then combine it at a later point and then recompile Mimikatz? Wow, that rule won't trigger anymore. Whoa. How crazy is that? So that is very, very powerful. Detection evasion, woo. And you could also scan. Yara is like a really fast scanning tool, right? So if you want to scan for, I don't know, I said scanning for blue team tools, you can use it to do that. Whoa. It's pretty cool. And also you could use it for fun, because it's fun. So yeah, VirusTotal is really cool, but it costs money. VirusTotal Enterprise. VirusTotal free, yeah, free. But VirusTotal Enterprise costs money.
Mentorship group.
Yes. So, for example, I don't have access to VirusTotal Enterprise unless I'm on my work machine, but I'm not. So we have the second best thing, hybrid analysis. They let you run Yara rules. And whoa, what is this? Is that my hybrid analysis tab? That's crazy. So this is all of the netcat detections. So this is our netcat rule that we wrote together earlier. And oh, check it out. Look at this. It's our hash from before. Wow, we detected it, yay! And we also detected other things. So like, for example, standalone.e, oh, it's a rat, cool. They use netcat. Oh, oops, clicked on it. Didn't want to do that. So yeah, all of these triggered. Are some of these not netcat? Maybe, but some, that one says netcat, cool. Yeah, so was it fully functional? Nah, maybe. But it certainly triggered on quite a few files that contain netcat. So cool, our rule worked. Yippee. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Any questions on Yara or Yara's uses or yes?
Do any major, actually, do you know if Defender uses Yara or any major applications use Yara?
I don't know if Defender does. However, I'm quite sure that there are some tools out there, including some proprietary AV solutions that do utilize Yara to some extent.
Good to know.
Yes,
Good to know.
very, very interesting, very fascinating stuff. Cool. Anything else? Go for it.
Can you detect Yara with Yara?
You can detect Yara with Yara, I think. Actually, hold on, I think we can try it.
While you're doing that, I also have another question. Can you
Go
use
for it.
Yara to auto-delete things?
That's what I think if you
That is a very good
if you
question.
use it in your Python script, I'm sure you could just
Yeah,
script it to delete.
that is a very
was
good
thinking
point.
about
John B's going crazy over here.
It doesn't look like you can. However, yeah, like Enzo said, you could definitely write a tool to do that like very quickly. So find.
John's coming in. Dude, Red Teamers watch out. That's a real game.
Yes, you can find Yara with Yara.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, he did it.
Yo, he used the Yara to find the Yara.
Yes. No. Maybe.
Nested layers
Who's
of Yara
ever
can you find
renamed
in
your
Yara?
Yara?
I think this might be the limit, but I don't know. This might be the limit.
Yara now becomes Surge.exe.
Yara be used to find flags in competitions.
More than likely.
Wait, actually.
Yeah. No,
Actually, yeah.
that would have probably been useful.
Yeah. So, I mean, in anything that you could use grep to find flags for, you could use Yara.
Okay.
But so,
Actual question. Can you use regex with Yara?
I believe you can use regex with Yara. I am not very keen on regex. I know how powerful it is, and it terrifies me.
Regex plus Yara
You
plus
learn
Python.
regex every time you go to use it.
Yes, precisely.
Regex101.com.
Learn is a bit of a strong word there, but yeah, I do learn it every time I use it. All right. Anything else? No? Cool.
Clap for Jake. Great presentation.
Yes.
One of the example rules you chose is regex.
What?
What should the example rule you use?
What? I got you.
Bucko.
Everybody just